Hey everybody, welcome to session 32 of Watch for Falling Meteors. I don't know, I felt like I used to say more stuff when we went live. Well, we're live, so Brian, recap for us.
Normally say
Tired.
what session we're on and stuff.
I did, I said session 32.
That many? Wow.
You can just
All
fill
right.
in the rest, I'm tired.
So, after being sent to the Mirror Realm by Alkin, the session before last, we picked up surrounded by a bunch of guards with crossbows and things trained on us. Just like 100 or so.
60 to 70, I think, is the number I used.
Okay, 60 to 70. Many guards.
A lot of guys.
And so we surrendered to them since they already had crossbows and things trained on us, as fighting seemed like a poor decision at the moment. And we got sent to the jail in the Mirror Realm after anyone who looked like a caster was super shackled and gagged, and Weedle got beat around a little bit for being a smart ass and a bag over his head.
Felt good. Every one of those felt good.
Finally, we were escorted to the jail without anything, and after many struggles, we in the prison of trying to figure out different ways to break free and being put in different cells, with a couple of teleports and some lockpicking, we were finally able to break out, and we decided the best course of action would be to get our equipment back from a room that seemed likely. So we went over there, and after convincing the guards that there was some ruckus going on in the jail, they opened the door and died, all of them mercilessly, before I even had a turn.
It was quick.
And we were able to recover our equipment, and that's where we left off.
Okay, thank you very much. Inspiration for you or whoever you want to give it to.
Oh, I'm inspired.
Those guards were very flammable. It's not my fault.
They could have.
That's their fault.
That's right.
They could have been tieflings, but no, they decided against it.
Okay, well, we can pick up there. So, you are in the first chamber that you were brought into after you walked past the different guard posts on your way in. And yes, you are able to retrieve your equipment and armor and such.
Oh, and there's some other equipment too for...
Yeah, so there was several suits of a whole bunch of chainmail. All of it's just piled and bagged. Some of it's in better or worse states of repair, depending on how many arrows or sword blows have hit it. Some of it's bloody. And you notice that most of the armor had the crests of Redemaron's tower. You also found a sword. What else was it? You guys remember?
Let's check the
There was a sword, I think a wand. There was some other stuff you found.
It seemed like the magic user. It seemed like the lord. They had their armor, weapons. That's
Here it is, the check-in. 12 sets of chainmail. You found a magic sword and a girdle. Both had Redemaron's name in gold inlay in them. And then you also found 3 ordinary daggers and a wand, as well as a ring and a spell book. The wand and the ring had Halia's name enameled upon them in blue, and her book also has her name written upon it.
And do any of the guards have keys or anything? Like for the
yes, actually, the sergeant, as well as one of the guards, the ones who died first, actually, both have key rings with 10, 15 keys on them.
Oh, we need to go free some prisoners, especially the one that said he was going to help us.
Well, and it seems likely that Redmaron's probably in the jail somewhere too.
Yep.
We may want to bring the chest with the gear.
Yep.
Okay. I want to pull up another window here. Boop. Manage.
That map doesn't seem synced. Was it synced last time? Like with the tiles?
It's the texture that I used.
Okay.
It's not ideal.
Okay.
I was kind of annoyed about it when I first noticed it, but I just finally accepted it. I'm like, all right, I guess that's just how it's going to be.
I didn't notice it last time.
There it is. Okay, let's screenshot of that. All right. Go back to where we were. And this here, paste. Okay, we got that. New tab. Okay, perfect. I got what I needed. So I'll unlock tokens so you guys, or they're actually unlocked, so you guys can move about. The
Did we rescue what's his yachts from his cell?
Not yet.
No. I was going to grab one of the key rings, though, and
Okay.
basically start knocking on all these middle doors, see if there's anyone there, and if they answer, open it.
Sure. Actually, someone does answer this cell right here.
Okay.
The other ones,
slay a meter.
the other ones were empty. And
This is where our buddy was.
Yeah.
No, I thought our buddy was up north.
There were 2 sets of key rings, so someone else can do that.
I've been
the
talking
white
to him. I may
arrows.
as well-
The white
I
arrow's
may as well
mine,
go let him
Scott.
out.
Okay.
What was his name? What was his name again?
The guy you were speaking to earlier was Ashgarth. The one who said that he's got some a guard that can help.
Yeah.
Scarth of Lum.
Yes, he is from Lum. So when you knock, there's a very feeble moan, but outside of that, nobody talks.
I'll open it, I mean.
Okay. Once you open it up, you can see a man who at one point was probably quite stout and strong, hanging from shackles against the far wall. He kind of looks up, but you can see it's an effort just for him to hold his head up and look at you. There is a little glimmer in his eyes. He recognizes, or you're in disguise as one of the guards right now, right? I thought you did a disguise
No,
self.
I
to
would
look
have
like the guards.
dropped it.
Okay.
I was disguising myself to look like one of the prisoners, but I'll drop it for the rescue.
Okay. Then he recognizes that you are not one of the guards and kind of tries to look up, but then he just nods off and falls unconscious again.
Step on.
I'll run in, start trying to free him.
We need
Okay.
a good berry for him, lad.
Yeah, do you have a good berry?
Yeah, you could feed him
If I
one of
get-
your good berries. That'll heal him a hit
Yeah.
point. It'll definitely at least snaps him up to a little more attention.
All right. I'm gonna
he-
cast a first level spell.
I'm just going to try to help him down.
Okay. Well, you've got the keys to the shackles, so
Yeah.
it takes a little bit to figure out which one it is. As you unshackle him, he slumps down. He eats the good berry, and at least, like, he seems still very groggy and horribly wounded, but it does kind of at least help him focus his attention enough to talk. See a dog behind me on my green screen.
Relax.
So he kind of wakes and looks, and he's like, I know you. And he points to Gimlun.
You know me. Do I recognize this fellow?
Make an intelligence check.
No.
It's not ringing a bell for you.
How would you know me?
We met at... he kind of stumbles a little bit. Penhaligon.
Penhaligon.
Yes, the ladies' court. To introduce you as lords. I'm Redamaron.
Redamaron. Oh, we've come to find you, lad. We'll pop him up a little bit further.
Okay. He's still very badly wounded, but that helped. He pops alert from the cure light wounds, though. You can tell he's very malnourished. Is one problem. You don't know how long it's been since he's been fed. But he disappeared almost a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets a little strength back in his limbs, just to where he can shakily rise. My wife. Is my wife all right?
We don't know. We've only
You're the
found
first person
you.
we've come across. We have the keys. We're trying to go get everybody. Get out of here.
I'm in your debt. What now?
Just a moment.
If
We
you
have
can
more
wear
to
your
do.
armor, did we bring the chest with us or not?
No.
You guys
No,
didn't
but I
mention
mean, it's-
taking the armor. I don't know
just
if you,
around the corner.
like it's retro. If you guys were carrying his sword and stuff, that's fine. Or if you want to go back to get the equipment, that's fine too. Like whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I just said we could try to carry the chest. I can't. I'm not strong. But
Oh
I'm
no,
not
the
carrying
chest
this
is
chest around.
the chest is
Way
like
too
10
heavy?
feet from side to side.
okay.
It's massive. The chest is big enough that you can lay 12 suits of chainmail armor in it and still have room.
We can just send people to pick it up there
Yeah,
later
it's
on.
a giant.
Yeah.
It's basically just a giant walled container with a lid. So,
I'll offer him another berry.
okay,
There may be more prisoners that need berries too.
it's true. You still doing the berry?
Just one.
Okay, that's a total of 10 hit points regained for him then. He's shakily standing. He looks very unsteady, but he's up and mobile on his own.
We'll get you out of here, and then we'll see what we can do to heal you up further. We're kind of tapped out at the moment.
I understand. How many guards are left? Where are we?
At the moment, none.
Okay.
So
we
we're
need
all gonna walk around just looking for other people, I guess.
Yeah, that's all I want to do is let people out.
Okay.
Go and rescue our friend from Lum.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, exploring the area, of the remaining closed cells, all these, I'm going to just reveal them. Of the remaining closed cells, you're able to find like 5 prisoners. Several of them recognize Redamaron immediately, and they're part of his guard, or soldiers from his tower. All of them are in at least as bad a shape as him. You also come across several bodies of his men that have died of their wounds, mostly infection or rot. In the top corner, one of the cells there, you find Halia in this one. She is haggard, looks terrible. She's wearing shackles like you all had to prevent you from using her hands. And you guys obviously had her equipment, but she is shackled to the wall. Her Her robes are nearly rags at this point. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. She's actually in pretty good shape. She's only been here a week. She's been starved, but her clothing isn't as bad. But she looks pretty bad for wear, and it looks like she's been beaten pretty badly, like within an inch of her life.
Well, at least she's had a long rest.
I don't know. Some of those other guards are having longer rests.
With no spellbook, though. So,
Well, we could probably fix that.
Well, her spellbook's with the equipment, so problem solved.
So, do we want to grab our little lum guy and anybody else and just?
We also need to check
Helmet.
these exterior cells because I think there are some people in those too.
yeah,
I
you've been
presume we
freeing
just-
anyone you can as you go.
Yeah.
You at this point, you have like a parade of like 10 people following you. They're all trying to be quiet. Some of them have to suppress coughs, but they're just following you. They all look scared to death. They have questions, but with a quick shush from you, they're just content to follow you. Like you're the jailbreak. None of them look like they're in fighting condition. Redoron will probably
that's
be able to fight. Halia looks like she could probably manage a spell once freed, which obviously you free her. But the rest of them don't look like they're in any condition to fight. Whoops. Let me grab this here. All right. As you get to Ashgarth's cell, you open up the cell and you see he is shackled to the wall. He's delighted when you open the door. You see him holding out his shackles to you to unlock him, and he's ready to go.
How is he looking?
Not too bad. He's only been here for the day. He was brought down earlier because he dropped a brick on a guard's foot. He's fairly certain they're going to torture him to death to determine if it was an accident and then kill him.
So, we're supposed to
If he's
go.
innocent, he'll die.
Yeah, we're supposed to go someplace, and he did tell us to walk around like we own the place. We have 2 people with disguise self. As a plan, do you think it would be possible to have those 2 people disguise themselves as guards, and then lead the rest of us as prisoners on a work detail?
Are you asking him?
Yep. I doubt you'll answer.
Yeah.
You can certainly try.
Well, that would depend on your disguises. Let me see.
Tell me what to look like.
One of the officers.
Okay,
that was
I'll
the
try to
guy.
look like
That was the guy.
One
who
of the
was wearing-
guys who was.
He had
Yeah,
plate mail and the crest and all that stuff.
I'll change
Didn't
into
have
that
fit
guy
on
that
the
I
road.
killed.
Okay. Anybody? And
that
who's
guy.
the other
What
disguised self?
That's me. I'm not
Okay.
sure if it takes up. I'm
It does
It
for
probably
you.
does.
Uses your
take
spell
up a
slot.
Spell slot. All right. Boom.
And how long does it
Good night,
last?
Harley.
Let's see. 1 hour.
Okay. Well, that's a domain spell. Okay. So, you disguise yourself as well. He tells you that you should probably look like one of the sergeants that you saw when you guys were at the check-in. So you guys mimic to look very similar to them, especially with the helmet. And Steve, you're basically looking like you're in chainmail. He's like, "Oh yes, this could work. We could be a work detail and leave through the southern entrance where you were brought in through the back. If we tried to go the other direction, we'd have to get through so many guards, and then they would end up on the lower level of the palace floor."
Yeah, let's not do that.
Or the flammable guards?
So, a little timeout from the game here. I think we were supposed to go into the northwest corner of the area and meet up with his buddies or something, and then
Have a rebellion brewing.
get a rebellion going, and then fight our way back to the portals and effect an escape.
That's kind of the idea, I guess.
Okay.
We need to find a place we can rest, I think, because we're all
Yeah.
pretty tapped out.
Let's do that then. So we escape. Now what, Jason?
That's
You're
That's an
all gonna
interesting try.
die.
Are we level
So-
8 now?
the
Well, you're
areas
10. That was great.
the areas that fuck it, you're 20. Let's just final fight.
Yeah, but we did.
Why? Let's just. You know
You
what?
got-
We win.
You got this
We
all
win.
figured
GG.
out. You win. End of the campaign, guys. Man, what a run it's been.
Man, D&D's so easy.
All right. So I haven't actually revealed. I'm only revealing the area there because Ashgarth just explains what heads that way. But it is bars across that whole section there. So your approach would be seen. He said that's the area to avoid because that's where the
Which-
rest of the guards will be, and that's the way that leads into the bottom of the palace, which is
Where,
the
here?
opposite direction you should be going to escape. He said that there shouldn't be any prisoners over there because the guards don't want to listen to the moaning, so they stick everyone over in the corners like you guys were.
This is not the good way to go?
That is correct. That would lead to once you got through those two. So there's two portcullises there you'd have to get past, and then while fighting, and then if you got past them, the barracks for the guards are that direction, as well as the interrogation chambers. And then
Gotcha.
if you got past all that, then you would have to go up this a long set of stairs that their landing comes out on the first floor of the ground floor of the palace. And then you would have to fight your way out of the palace and then fight your way down the ziggurat. If you go the way you came in, you come in the back door.
I would
Which
like to go where
will certainly be
Pizza Pie's
guarded,
pointing.
but not guarded like going out the front door.
Let's go in the back door.
I'm not
Out the
touching
back
it.
door.
All right,
Yeah, that's too
he
easy.
is ready. Do you have any questions for him?
Where are we
Um,
going?
Yes, who's this guard we're going to meet?
Her name is Zira. She's, I don't know that much about her honestly, but she approached me during my work at the quarry and said that she knew what I was up to and she wanted to help. I've been meeting with her for the last month and I think she's genuine. She seems to have regrets about coming here and she wants out of this place. She knows the password to activate the mirror, but she won't tell me. She'll only activate it if we take her with us.
Is there any place we can hide and get some rest?
Yes, if we get out of here, then we can make our way to Hell. That's what we call the Northwest Quarter. And then we can disappear into the slums there. There's not many patrols once you're past the gates.
Well then, let's go to
hell.
hell.
That's right.
Yeah,
Now-
resting in hell.
And write the name of the password down and call it a Xerox.
We're all gonna be goats tonight.
We're gonna have another problem, though.
Oh,
You two. I
Well,
don't
man.
know of any of your race in this realm.
me
we're
and
Yeah, he points to you and Weedall.
Yeah, but we're prisoners, right? So we're
They're on prison detail.
part of the
work
work
detail.
detail.
we can like cover us in like a big baggy robe or something, the best we can, I guess.
You could pass for an extremely fat woman, I guess. Like if you drape a robe over a... What do
Thank
you weigh,
you.
like 400 pounds?
Yeah, 450.
Yeah, you drape a robe over a 400-pound turtle that walks upright. I mean, that's not even Friar Tuck. I mean, you're going to look like a giant person. Weedall, not too
I
bad
have
to
the
cloak.
squad.
Yeah, you are.
I just tuck my tail.
Yeah. Um,
Well, we'll do what we can to cloak up, and maybe they'll just think from a distance that it's, I don't know.
uh,
You mean once we're in
so
the slums?
the problem is there's no one, there's no such thing as a fat worker here. They keep us starved so that we can't rise up. The men I have ready to rebel, we've been sneaking extra rations, many of us giving away half of our meager food so that they can stay strong. So there's no, it would be a dead giveaway. Do you have any magic?
Just out of game, I require a long rest to filter my spells out.
Correct.
How far can we get before this becomes an issue?
Once we got to the gatehouse to pass through the wall, the first one would be. He reminds you of the layout. Oh, in fact, I can share the map at this point. He can show you the layout of the. What he refers to as Skarta's Mirror is what he calls the realm. I'm just going to share the image whole. Doesn't really matter because he can tell you what's at each spot. So, in the far south is the pedestal where you came in. You are at that ziggurat that's just a little bit north. Each one of these squares is roughly 120 feet, by the way. So you would proceed north to the wall, and then there's three spots you could. There's three gates that lead to the military complex, which is. Whoops. Sorry, I'm on the wrong map here. Let me switch this over. This here. So there are three spots. This is where he says the Colosseum is. The giant Colosseum he described, it's cut into the ground. This area is the military compound, where the barracks for the soldiers are and the stables for all the livestock, as well as the officers' quarters. This is the farm and the gardens, where you guys noticed before the reflective roofs. He has made what effectively would be greenhouses for growing food, where it's all run by the slaves. And then this northwest area is where the Hell's Quarter is, and this is the occupied section of Hell's Quarter. The other three are abandoned. Not abandoned. They're just there's nobody living in them yet. He's planning to expand, and then this is the three quarries that have been dug into the surface of the realm. There's also wells of water. Each area has a well probably every 500 feet or so, and the well is just a spot where there's just flat and the water level's always even. He said that they've been here as long as he's lived here. He thinks the wells are part of the realm. But there are.
So to go to the quarry, do they go through the slums?
So each of these areas here is a gate. You can see the little towers. Each one of those is a gatehouse. I can zoom in a little bit. Here. There we go. So those are the gatehouses. So typically the soldiers will that are heading to the slums will go through the Colosseum unless for whatever reason they need to go by the barracks. But it would be acceptable. It wouldn't be suspicious for you to go to the Colosseum and go through there since it's the central corridor. The slaves normally go from the hell to the farms or to the gardens or hell to the quarry. They rarely go anywhere else.
Which one is hell?
Hell is the northwest.
I don't really have anything I can use to disguise myself or reduce or make myself invisible. Where
So
is
just-
where is all the stone that's quarried or whatever's quarried here processed?
It's so he describes that there are two buildings just to the east of the quarries, which I've got an arrow pointing to him now. That's where the stone that is quarried is shaped.
So when they bring the prisoners in, they would go through the Colosseum and then through the slum, through hell, and into the quarry.
Well, they take them when new prisoners are brought in. They're usually just sent straight to hell, and then their work shifts take them to whichever one they're going to be good at.
The only thing
As a
I can think
reminder,
of is
the realm is all mirror. Like all the floors, walls, and ceiling, which is 500 feet up, are mirrors. And there's just a natural light that's emanating from the mirrors.
So
the
there's
only thing
nowhere
I
to
could,
hide.
yeah, the only thing I could think of is if you had a wagon or something, I could hide in the wagon under some supplies or something like that. But otherwise, I'm gonna have to walk, or you're gonna
There
have to leave me
are
behind.
um, there are actually wagons, but he doesn't have a wagon here. Like they have wagons at hell. I mean, that's how they move all this material.
So we got shackles and stuff. Couldn't we fake shackle them to escort them to?
Well, it's
quarry?
fairly obvious. I think the point is it's fairly obvious who I am, right?
I don't think anybody knows who you are, but you're an oddity. You would
Do
stand
they
out.
know your new orders on where you're supposed to go?
No, but what he's saying is you'll be able to tell where I went. People will see where I go.
Yeah.
If I had a long rest, I could meld with stone. That's about the only thing I have that would hide where I'm at or who I am.
I don't think you can move though.
No, I can't.
I don't see any way around this other than just hope for the best on our disguises right now.
Brian, to answer your question, yes, you could fake shackle him.
If I had a wagon, I could go. I could pull into my shell, and I would be just my shell would be visible, so you could wrap me in burlap or something. But apart from that, there's no way around it. I'm going to be noticeable.
Well, so in the chest there was just the chainmail.
Wait
Yeah,
a minute.
chainmail and
Have-
some
Does she
weaponry.
have magic in her spell book that would help?
Halia is capable of casting invisibility, but she would have to be able to rest and have time to memorize it from her spell books.
How long does it take a wizard to do that? And that's an
Long
over-
rest.
isn't it?
She'd need to complete a long rest, which she has not. You can't complete a long rest while shackled to a wall and starved. So she would need a long rest and then 15 minutes per spell level. Basically, she needs a long rest before she can memorize her spells.
I don't think we have that time. What about that wand she has?
She has a wand that shoots cold.
If you're cold, do you think you'll be less noticeable?
I don't think so.
And she, with her ring, she could perform telekinesis, but she doesn't have. She can't think of anything she can do without being able to memorize her spells. She doesn't know what she could do.
What's
Unless
the range
you
of
want to try and
telekinesis?
stay here. Hold on, I'll have to look at the item again.
And so if people are brought to this realm and sent straight to the prisons, they're never sent to hell or anything. You'd go straight to hell originally.
No, not necessarily. You could be here, and if you're being punished, and still be released. It's possible that you could be, and a lot of people who are brought in as prisoners, especially big tough ones, get softened up in the dungeons before they get sent to hell. Like, if you capture a big adventurer, you get him weak. Like, that's why Redemaron's here. Before they're going to put Redemaron to slave duty, they got to make sure that he's too weak to fight back. So they starve him out and get him malnutritioned until he can't really put up a threat, and then put him to work in the quarry.
Would Ashgarth know the guard rotation and stuff? Will we have? I don't think we have time for a long rest. I'm not asking that, but I mean, how often do guards rotate? How long do we have to kind of sit around?
The next time the guards will go through, as long as there's not a commotion or an alarm raised, the next guard change will be in about 4 hours. They change guards. The guards work at 3 8-hour shifts, and you guys are in the middle of the second shift.
There's no night here. It's always light.
Yeah, that's correct.
We could do a short rest, give them a chance to heal up a little bit more.
They don't have any hit dice to spend, if that's what you're getting at.
Kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah,
Do
they
the
don't
folks
have
in
any.
the know?
They have no hit dice. They haven't long rested in ages, so.
Do the folks in the know whether or not the walls are like immediate alarms? Like, is somebody always looking through the walls? Do they know anything about that?
What do you
As
think?
far as Ashgarth knows,
It's like maybe walking just along the wall and hopefully staying in the shadow and walking, or
the walls,
just the mirror wall is just always on.
So
somebody's always looking. So
there's the big walls that separate the different areas are 20 feet thick. They're 30 or 40 feet tall, and then they have the gatehouses every so often. There's 3 gatehouses into the military quarter, 1 into the Coliseum, and 1 into the gardens, from this one long wall that separates basically palace side from the rest of the realm. The gates are heavily manned. The walls have guards patrolling them, walking from one end to the other.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you had
we could walk the wall,
as far as scaling the walls, they're made from like tightly fitted blocks, but they're the mined mirror glass. It's the wall is made of the black, less reflective glass. It's almost like a matte finish to it.
How this may be stupid, but can you crawl, Gamelon? We may be able to make you look like a cart.
Well, he's not that big.
Well, we could put him in the middle of the pile of people, right?
Yeah, we
That's
could
true.
crowd out instead of going single file. Just kind of go with.
I mean, I can pull my head and my arms. I mean, that'll make me a little shorter, but not much.
Okay. By the way, the telekinesis is 60-foot range.
Well, Brian
That's
had
not
put a good idea. If we don't go a single
She
file,
can move
but
up to
we kinda go
1,000
as a
pounds
blob.
with her ring, though.
We can also put bags over your head. So, like, if you two just kind of hunched over with bags over your head, maybe.
No, I can just pull my head all the way in.
Can you see doing that? Like to walk or?
Halia is capable of moving you. Like if she can, with her ring of telekinesis, as long as you're willing, she can move up to 1,000 pounds.
So we just have to explain what we're carrying. It's a large throne. We're carrying a large throne. It's just moving through the air.
Throw burlap over it and say we're carrying quarry material. I mean,
From the dungeon?
The south?
Broken mirrors. We broke a few of those.
To be fixed.
Well, I think we just try to. I think the best option is just to go with the work party.
We'll just try to stick you two in the middle of them.
I'll try to hunch over as much as I can. And
Well, I should be.
What races are down here? Like, what races have we seen? Is it just humans?
Weedall's probably fine.
Mostly humans. A couple dwarves, but not slaves. All the slaves are humans. There are a couple dwarves that were brought in to engineer. Well, all right, they were brought in to help build, and then after the building was done, even before the building was done, most of the dwarves that were brought in ended up becoming forced labor. But they don't live in hell. In fact, doesn't know what happened to them. But when in his lifetime here, he's been here for a long time. He has seen dwarves, but for the most part, it's just humans.
Are the other races like looked down upon?
There aren't any to look down upon, really. They tried orcs for a little bit. They tried orcs for a little bit, but it was too hard to starve them. They just started eating humans. So pretty much a human population here. The issue is not necessarily like hatred of the race; it's notoriety. Like though he's the only turtle here, so he'll be very noticeable.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But if you just embrace it and shackle him up and use a work party, like, and you guys are just leading a work detail.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Like,
Okay.
basically go with the story of, hey, look, these bitches are so weak, we don't even need to starve them. They just can't cut the mustard. Stick a sack over Weedall's head. We can try to cut some holes in there so you can see out, though. And just act muffled.
Sorry, gentlemen, I'm back.
Yeah, no problem.
And then just go.
Yeah.
I
Let's
really
just
have
make
zero
this
spells.
mistake or make this escape.
We gotta try to push through this. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, look, if I could convince those guards to open the damn door, I can probably convince these guards that you guys need to go work.
Let's do it.
It's what I do. I smooth things over with people who shouldn't trust me.
You can just tell them that I'm dumb, but I'm strong.
Yeah, basically.
He lifts heavy things. He's not.
He looks
I
like
told
a
him if he
turtle.
worked for 2 weeks, we'd let him go.
Yeah. He looks like a turtle, but he's actually our crane.
Yeah, I don't have anything else like spell-wise that would be even remotely useful in this situation. I don't have any illusions or.
That's all right. Let's go for it. Worst case, we have a bad, terrible fight and I'll die. We've been in worse spots.
Yeah. Let's do it.
And I'll try to hunker down as much as I can to look not as big, but you know.
Okay.
We're going with it. It's been an hour. We're doing it.
Don't roll a 1.
Okay. So your plan, just reiterate it for me.
We're going to have a giant work party. Stefan and I are going to be the guards.
Okay.
They'll be poking and prodding.
We're going to stick a bag over Weedall's head with some eye holes cut out because he's snarky, and we're
Okay.
going to knock that out of him.
Okay.
And the turtle's so damn dumb that we told him, yeah, if you work for 2 weeks, we'll let you go. And he bought it.
Okay.
And put Ashgarth up front so that he's able to give you any pointers if he has any.
Okay. Sounds good. So you have a total of 12 people in addition to you guys, including Redamaron and Halia. Redamaron has put his girdle on at this point. It definitely seems to put some spring in his step. And he's got his sword on, which he's trying to cover up with, just a ragged cloak. So he's got it slung in low to try and hide his sword. And Halia has her wand ready and her ring on, and she's got her spell book, which she's stowed in a sack. And then everybody is shackled. So that's a question, I guess. Are they legitimately shackled, or is everyone faking?
It's faux.
I want a faux shackle unless they legit check all the shackles.
Well, I will just point out that you would think of this, that if you rig over 12 shackles to be fake connected, and then you're going to walk, because these like shackle to your leg, and then you're going to walk, one might fall off.
Well, how about all the people who can't fight? We'll legit shackle, and we'll undo the shackles once we're out.
Okay. All right.
I got my crossbow at the ready.
Okay, so you're disguised as a guard.
You're one of
so-
the guards. So
Yeah, so having
we
your
can have
crossbow
weapons
ready to
out.
shoot.
loaded and ready is completely normal.
In
And
fact,
then-
Stefan, you might want to go from behind, and then I'll walk up front with what's his name. Just we're going there.
Okay.
Yep.
That way, it looks like we have guard.
Well, actually,
them monitored or whatever. Right?
Ashgarth Ashgarth interrupts you there. No prisoners being brought out of the dungeon would they be worried about guarding the back. They're all shackled together. In standard
okay.
practice, if one prisoner acts up, is to kill the lead one that they're shackled to. So now they have to drag one. So
Gotcha.
guards would lead them. Guards don't follow prisoners. In fact, a prisoner walking in front of a guard is punishable by dungeon time. So he stops you there. No, they wouldn't do that. He actually helped construct these dungeons when he was much younger. He says that once you go south of the check-in room, there'll be a staircase that goes up. You guys remember that goes up quite a ways, and then a long corridor that bends twice. And at each of the bends, there's arrow slits where there are guards there whose job is just to make sure the hallways, not being overrun. So you'll have to bluff or do something with those guards. He said that the arrow slits actually are doors that can be opened. There's a catch that you can pull that allows the door to swivel so that you can enter the room. He can describe how to operate them. He can also open one for you if it comes to it.
It may come to it.
But however you want to try and deal with them. He is in no condition to fight. But he wants to be the front person shackled. Although Halia and Redamaron also want to be the front person shackled, besides you guys.
It might be useful to put one of the weaker ones up front.
Why? Oh, just for easier for them to see a weaker one?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of hide the more powerful one.
And then Redamaron and Halia can lead their people.
Well, Karnan's a wussy little elf, so he passes for famished already. He's so skinny. And Weedall is also quite slim, so as long as you can hide the fact that he's a feral cat person, it's only Gimlin that's going to draw
he's
attention.
He's tucking his tail, right? Like up
Right.
his shirt or something?
Yeah, no, he's disguising himself.
And then we'll put a bag over his head we'll try to give him some eye holes so he can somewhat see.
And Gamelon, to be clear, is just trying to look docile and subdued.
Kind
just
of a little farther back.
Okay, everybody who's pretending to be... Actually, all of you, go ahead and roll deception checks. Even the disguised self, you still need a deception check. How well are you pulling off your mannerisms?
Where's my skills?
I don't know what I just did there, but it wasn't what I wanted to do.
And roll it in the tower, please.
Roll deception into the tower.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not what I did.
Whoop.
Well, that wasn't it either.
Looking meek. That's where you make eye contact and growl at people, right?
Oh, I screwed that up.
It's fine.
Yeah, just drop it in the tower.
Oh.
Try another one.
Okay.
I didn't think it was going to change anything.
Probably doesn't. But there's a lot riding on the line. I'd like you guys to not know how it turned out. Okay.
We don't.
So, your work assembly line is ready to move.
All right,
Waiting
we're
on
going
the
to
call
move.
from waiting on the call from my master.
We're going to go south and then up the large staircase and then up to the guards.
I am revealing that part of the map. So as you reach the top of the steps, you can see the corner, and as you are coming up the steps, you can see the arrow slit darkens. Actually, the arrow slit's still like 6 inches wide. You can see that there's a guard there who rises up. He's got he's just looking through the arrow slit. You can see he's holding a crossbow, but he's not holding it up to the arrow slit yet. He looks to Nace and Stefan.
I give him the friendly nod.
Work detail.
1 second. He turns. You can tell he's talking to the other guard. He says, I don't... Okay. When was this scheduled? I didn't hear about it.
When the new prisoners came in, we got new orders from the palace.
Deception check.
Noobs.
He goes, yeah, they never tell us anything. All right. How many you got?
It was 12, right?
Well, 12 plus Karnon.
Plus the 3 we have, so
Gamelon.
15.
No, 16. Because Karnon, Gamelon, Weedall, 17. And then Halia and Redamaron.
Oh, I thought they were part of the dozen. Okay, so 17.
So, yeah. No, it's a dozen other prisoners besides them.
Gotcha.
17 for now.
So, all right,
See how
so-
many we make it.
He says, all right. Well, best be on. Good luck. Where are they going, Quarry?
Yeah. That smartass is gonna get the shit beat out of him.
Hit him once for me.
Hell yeah, smack him on the way by.
All right.
He's got the bag.
All right. You cuff Weedall on the way by. How convincing?
Oh, I told them to.
Oh, okay.
They're
And when
behind
they
the
do it,
arrow
I'm gonna
slits.
laugh.
Oh, as they go by, actually you hear the latch and the door swivels and one steps out and just haymaker hits Weedle as hard as he fucking can.
I'm gonna laugh and say, "Get a move on, slacker."
Weedle, you take 3 points of damage from a punch.
I
This
take
guy's
one.
just like, wham! And because of the aisles, you don't even see it coming. It clocks
take-
you right over the head.
I take one.
Oh, are you uncanny dodging?
Of course.
Okay. That's your reaction. You only take one. As you punch, he goes, ah! I didn't get him good. Hold him still. He says that
we gotta
to,
go.
He says
We
that to
gotta
Stefan
go.
and Nace. Oh,
We gotta
He goes,
go.
not before I knock his freaking block off. Hold
Hold
him.
him real quick. We're on a schedule. And then I'm gonna start walking down while Stefan can hold him.
He'll
All
be
right.
back. You'll see him again. It'll be fine.
All right, give me an intimidation check. With advantage. You're ex-military. Like, you definitely... Stefan is quite good at the stare down. And just dismissing this
intimidating.
guy like a pissant.
Hopefully I got it's one on the left, right? The one on the left of my main page.
There should be an advantage button, or
Yep, I
Yeah,
clicked
just-
that. I clicked advantage.
Then
and it's
click
INT.
roll the deception to the
No,
tower.
intimidation.
Oh, intimidation. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
wait,
drop your
no.
intimidation
That's
skill
an
check.
nope. I was about to do intelligence. Whew. Hold on.
skills. There's
So,
a skills
in your
tab.
skills tab,
All right.
Drag
I got
the,
the right one.
okay.
Come on.
Looked like you did it right.
Okay, so yeah, he's like, no, screw that, you hold him, I'm gonna knock his block off. And you go, you can do it later, we'll be back. And you just shoulder past him, and you can see he's just like, he's looking over, and he like looks to the other guard for support, who's just shaking his head like, you're a dumbass. And so he kind of slinks back into his cubby and shuts the trap door in front of it. So Stefan
as-
keeps you from getting your ass beat.
As
again.
we start
Yes.
walking off, I just kind of look back at him.
You have a bag.
All he sees is the bag head kind of look back at him.
The baghead turn. You hear the door like slam in frustration, but nothing else happens. As the rest of them go by, you hear the other guard go, Jesus, look at the size of that one. But you guys didn't cloak Gimlin, right? You're just saying, like, look, he's a turtle. We're just going to embrace it.
He's just dumb.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're
he
just
just goes
embracing
by, slunking by. He looks, and then the other guy goes, Jesus, I'll bet he can swing a pickaxe.
Well, we got him.
All right. You continue down the hallway and reach. In fact, by the way, you could actually see the chamber once the door had been opened. So it's the same on the other side. So you make your way down the corridor. You basically take up almost the whole corridor by the time the detail gets to the end. And you can see where that one turns the corner. As they see you coming, the door directly across the hall from you, you hear the latch go and the arrow slit opens up. And you see the other guy step out and he goes, I want one too.
I'm ready this time.
Yeah. I'll
So-
be like, hey, one try, but do better than the last guy. And I'm going to pat him on the back.
All right. He goes, you got that right. He steps up and hauls off at Weedle. Weedle, he has advantage on the attack because you're restrained.
Punching bag.
Basically. Crit!
Oh! Maybe 10 points of damage.
No, no. He does 4.
He does 2.
Okay. He's like, "Geesh!" And you like rock with it, but you don't go down like he was expecting. And the guy looks and he's like, oh, shit, my hand! God. The other guy's laughing and he's going, guy can take a punch, he must be a boxer.
Or he'll take it out of him.
He's like, that's right. Wait till you get to the quarry. You can tell one of his knuckles is obviously broken. And you really, like, as it came in, you like ducked and caught it on the crown of your head just perfectly and rolled with it. It hurt him way more than it hurt you. You can see him holding his hand and he's like, God, I think I broke my hand. The other guy's laughing at him and then they let you guys pass.
He gets the head
no other
treatment too.
And you slowly look after him as you go by. All right. So,
Rising faces for later.
yeah. The passage proceeds south for over 100 feet before it finally comes to a door. You do remember coming here. There is a large door that's barred on this side, and you can see 2 guards just standing laxly at the doorway watching you approach. As you come up, they look up, like they're like leaning against the wall, just kind of slack. They look over, they don't even like move to attention or anything. Wait, one of you's dressed like an officer. He does, I guess he kind of stands up a little straighter, but casually, not like snap to attention. He looks
Walk
and
casual.
as you're coming down the hall, he already kind of determines, all right, this is a work detail. Your armor looks like the officer in the check-in. He kind of nods. Sir,
Not
work
bad.
detail?
Affirmative.
All right. He takes and pulls the bar up. He knocks on the door. The door gets pulled open from the outside. You can see very quickly, we'll just reveal this area here. It's much brighter as the door opens and light from outside floods in. This is the base of the ziggurat where you entered. There are 6 more guards standing around out here that are just in a little formation. And he says, next work detail. You're on escort to the 6 guards outside. They're all like, yes, sir. They turn to you, Brian.
Let's go.
All right. As you start to file out, they just start to drop like every couple chain members, and they just basically have a line on either side walking along. There's a lot of stares at Gamelon, watching him. One of them looks and he goes, "That's one of the new ones." What? You guys are putting the new ones in already?
Yeah,
Hey,
he's gonna do good
Turtle.
work.
How long you got to work in the quarry to go free?
2 weeks.
Not all there.
Give me a deception check with advantage. They think it's hilarious.
Oops, hold on.
All right. Yeah, they look and they're like, you can see them like whispering to each other. You know, they're probably going, what an idiot. And they're like, yeah, 2 weeks. That's what it normally is.
2 weeks.
Hodor.
Weedall starts laughing. He goes, he doesn't realize they told the rest of us 2 days.
All right. So the guards get a chuckle. Outside of that, they seem to accept what's happening. And all the rest of them look so weak they can barely move. Redimron and Hallier are so shit-stain covered that they're barely recognizable. Which, by the way, Gimlin, is why you didn't recognize him. If he had been clean, I would have said, yep, you recognize him. But as dirty as he was, you just couldn't make out who he was.
Makes sense.
So, they, I'm going to close that map. They start walking you towards, did I didn't do that one. I need to share it again. God damn it. Share map.
What, the big thing?
There you go. Yeah, I didn't mark the Scarred as Mirror map on the player client. So I'll do that real quick. That's roughly there. Okay. So, basically, they take you from the back of the ziggurat to the Colosseum. Oh, I'm sorry. They ask where you're going. They say, Captain, where are we heading?
Hell, get them their
Quarry.
duty and go to quarry.
Very well, sir. We'll, do you think maybe some of us could, cut out of our shift early, you know? Make an insight check real quick.
Yeah, nailed it.
Nailed it, he goes.
So, based on the way he asked very casually, like it's not like it seems like he was not at all worried about asking this question.
They're asking you, Captain.
Once we get to hell, you can go.
Ah, thank you, sir. You see two of them kind of look like, yeah, I told you I should ask.
I'm gonna look at Stefan and be like, "You're with me to the quarry."
Okay, Stefan looks and he's like, yeah, no problem. So, they take you to, you walk, I don't know, almost 400 feet to reach the first gate, which is right in the center of this long wall that just dominates the whole realm. And as you come up to the gate with this long procession, you see the gate, which is, it looks like a giant, perfectly smooth, flat piece of obsidian. Just starts to slide. There's a slight rumble as this impossibly heavy thing slides across the ground and moves out of the way, leaving a hole that's 20 feet wide and probably 15 feet wide, 15 feet tall in this 20-foot thick wall. The gate itself, as you get by and see as you're passing the block, you can see the block is over 5 feet thick. It must be impossibly heavy. And as you look down, there is like rollers on the set into a track on the ground that this thing moves on to make it not frictionless but much less resistance, allowing it to move. So you pass through the gates without incident. A couple of them look down. You see a couple waves from some of the guards to guys in the escort that wave up. A couple of you in the chain gang get spit on, but otherwise uneventful. As you pass through the Colosseum area, you can see, you get a good look into the Coliseum. It's flush with the ground, and just tiered all the way down to a deep pit in the bottom. You can see the southern end has a large, like podium area that's built up and actually has shade over it to cover like a large throne, which is most certainly going to be where Skarda sits during these. But you continue your trek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's over 1,000 feet, probably 1,400 feet to the other walls on the north side, where there are 3 gatehouses, and you guys enter the northwest one, which is where the other guards just sort of walk. So you just kind of follow suit and figure that's where they're headed. It makes sense as it's going to be the closest to where they're off duty. As you come up to that gate, it actually stops, and one of the soldiers up on top of the gatehouse, looking down at you, stops and is looking over the line. What's your business?
Work detail. We're heading to the quarry.
Understood. Shouldn't you have gone to the east gate? This guy looks to be a sergeant. Like, high enough rank to question you.
We had to pick up a couple from hell to make sure this is a good work detail.
Give me a deception check. Understood. Well, looks like you're behind schedule. I'd get a move on.
Double time! I'm gonna walk fast.
Nice. All right. Actually, you guys start to hustle.
Let's
you can
move.
see it's really hard on the soldiers. Ashgarth kind of whispers to you. He goes, "Nice touch." The gate starts rolling aside, and you get moved into hell. And then as you start to move into the... Ashgarth kind of indicates one of the buildings to go into. And as you move into one of these longhouses, these are like very large houses. They're ramshackle. You can actually see one of them looks like one of the corners has fallen in. There's a crew repairing it. But he points you to one of the houses, which you guys duck into. The rest of the soldiers all immediately start trotting and talking about getting drunk, heading towards the gatehouses you can see to the west now, that lead down to the military district. That area.
Before they leave, I want to go, men.
They
Make sure
stop.
the turtle knows how long he has to work.
2 weeks, buddy. All right. They run off clapping each other on the back and laughing. They're pretty thrilled about the deception. Okay, and then you make your way into hell and for the most part disappear. Ashgarth says he will find people to fill the work detail, because if somebody doesn't go to the quarry, it's going to be noticed.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'm going to help the bag off Weedall's head, and I'm going to toss him a little bit of help.
Okay. Sounds good.
He says, "That was a nice touch, Nance."
Sorry, buddy. I had to make it believable.
No, I get it. That was great. And I remember their faces.
Damn straight you do.
Yeah.
All right. So, you find yourselves in hell, which, for lack of... it is basically a slum that you'd find in any city, but it's a massive slum.
So
looks like
much better than the dungeon.
It is an improvement over the
It's
dungeon.
like the Ritz.
It does look like they've been left to fend for themselves. Ashgarth explains that they've never had any engineers to help. everything they've had is with the building materials they've been given, which is almost always scrap that wasn't good enough for another project.
Then as we move to wherever we're going to move, like
Mhm.
wherever we're going to hide, I guess, we'll drape me with some cloth or something so I look like a bundle, and these guys can carry it around with the ring of levitation.
Okay. Yeah,
Just
actually,
'cause I'm sure
you could be rigged up to be like a big like a pallet of laundry. Honestly.
yeah, exactly. So she can levitate, and they can push it around like they're carrying it, and that way
Yeah.
we can not stay in the same room all the guards saw the turtle go into.
And add
Sure.
Ashgarth that this would be a safe place for us to hang out overnight, or do we need to make contact with Zira now?
It's a good thing you brought that up. My plan, well, kind of forming the plan as we go, to be honest. Uh, my plan is to meet up with the resistance workers. We'll let them know that the plan will be soon. I've got to get in contact with Zira, but she contacts me. I don't exactly have free reign. And I plan to hide you in one of the slums. We have several areas we hide the resistance force. I was going to move you with them, well, one of their cells, and that way you can start a plan and get ready. Once I can get a hold of Zira, I'll let her know we're ready to move. And
We
then,
will. Our absence will be noted.
yes, but they haven't found the resistance cells. I don't think they'll find you. There's a good chance they're going to tear hell apart, but that's nothing new.
Okay. Got to trust somebody sometimes.
I'm gonna
All right.
offer up some good berries. I got 8 left, just in case Weedall needs one, or
I'm
2,
all right.
or however many.
I'm all right. Why don't we save them in case we need to?
All right, I put them away.
But Weedall thanks you.
Okay. So Ashgarth takes you further into the slums, and then to a spot that has first a false wall, and then a staircase that has hinges that you can lift out of the way, so you can lift the stairs up, which leads to actually a ladder that is hidden that goes down into a very cramped. It actually looks like Ashgarth explains this is really what the quarry looks like. It's a swirl of the black stone, like mirror stone, the regular mirror flake stuff, as well as the very white, polished, kind of matte, reflective. It's just a whole streak of it swirled. And he takes you down there and deposits you.
All right.
Okay, we're deposited.
Okay.
Oh, Weedall's just gonna rest. So if we're down here for an hour, Weedall's been resting.
Okay. He explains to you he has over 100 men and women who are willing to fight. They all have some kind of weapon and they all have heavy linen armor. It's taken years to smuggle enough tools and flax and food to equip them, and then, as he already stated, a lot of people are on the verge of starvation to make sure they can eat. But these freedom fighters right now are the only chance they have to escape back into the real world. He thinks once the violence starts, that the other slaves will be incited to riot and swarm. But the slaves have to be able to see the rebels achieving success before they're going to jump in.
That's easy enough.
And also give some good berries to the cell because it provides like a day's worth of nourishment.
Yeah, any good berries you have left over before they go bad, give them out.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 8.
So, yeah, you're actually able to fully feed 10 people a day per spell slot. So, with Goodberry. So, Ashgarth says you'll need to stay here until he can get a hold of Zira. He'll be back tomorrow to check on you. He has to lay low himself because they're going to be looking for him.
I'm going to hand out 8.
Okay. As you explain what the good berries are, they basically pick 8 people who are going to eat them, as they know who's had the least rations lately to try and keep everyone fed. But they're grateful because this really cuts down how much they're having to feed. There are 20 resistance fighters here. Actually, I take it back. I would say they all insist that the 8 go to families that have been going without.
Probably.
So
If
for
I'm
this
about
one,
to take a
for
rest,
these, they're all like, I've eaten. They're all like, look, I ate today. I've had my meal.
Exactly, Steve.
I don't need them. Like, we won't need them yet. If you can give those, but like, they want to know if you can make more.
yes, I'm going to cast one more before I rest.
Okay,
I got
then
10
you're able
more.
to feed a total of 18 people that basically are going to feel fuller than they felt in years. People are super thrilled about this. And then that's it. The resistance fighters have lots of questions for you, where you're from and what's, how you came to be here, what you know of the plan, etc.
I don't know much about the plan.
Okay. Or really, I guess they're probably explaining to you that they're literally just going to start some shit. So, and get into a choke point and try and draw as many guards into a fight as possible in order to overcome one of the gates. So, the plan right now is for them to try and get past the gate at the gardens. So,
Will Skarta get involved?
They don't know.
Because if Skarta gets involved, like a wizard can do a lot of area damage.
Yeah, none of them have. Well, they've all seen Skarta get mad before and like vaporize someone, but they just don't know. You can tell these guys are resigned. They've accepted that like there's a really good chance I'm going to die when we do this. But all of them are just, they seem to have real hope having met you. Like, we might actually make it to the mirror. Before now, it's always been, we're going to do this, and it probably won't work, but we've got to do something. And a lot of them, especially the older ones, seem cautiously optimistic that with your help, maybe they could make it to the mirror and get out of here.
And the other slaves as well.
Yeah, they want to get everybody out of here, but
Okay.
they need to take the mirror and control it. And
I just want to make sure our goals aligned.
yeah, they want to get as many people out as they can. They don't know if they'll be able to hold it long enough for all the slaves to get out, but they're going to hold it for as many as possible and then get help. Like, they can at least tell their story if they can escape.
Yeah.
Especially
Do we
if
know
they
where
can,
the mirror will take us?
wherever. Oh, yes, they can explain that completely. So, enough of them have seen the mirror operate or have talked to someone who got a good look at it. Basically, whenever you exit, you will come out in front of wherever the mirror in the real world is. Whenever the mirror is uncovered, you can see out of it completely and look at it really from any angle to see what's in the area that you're about to step out into. And to enter the mirror from the other side, you just have to look at the mirror. Period. And if you're willing, it will take you in. It will also take anything you're touching. If 10 people are holding hands and one looks willingly, it'll take all 10 of them in. So that's not true. It would take 3 in. So only the people you're touching are drug in automatically. But anyways, they all know that like that's how so many people get captured. Somebody grabs them and then looks into the mirror and pulls himself in. But you'll exit wherever the mirror is sitting. They don't know of any magical property of the mirror outside of that. So their goal is to take the platform, which will have 30 guards, is the standing force that's there. Anytime that they're actually expecting someone to come through, they scale up to capture people. But there'll be 30 guards there all the time. And their goal is to get there, take the platform, get through, and get help. And then hopefully take the mirror on the other side so that they have control of it.
Okay, and so do the guards basically follow Skarda just because it's almost like a mirror bandit camp where you're just safe? They can steal whatever.
As far as why the guards are with Skarda, most of the guards are pretty cruel, vindictive pieces of dung. Most of the officers have been here for a long time. They've also gotten pretty lax. The security's not super tight here because there have been 2 uprisings in the last 2 decades, and they were immediately squashed. I mean, no chance. So the soldiers who live here get all the food they want. They get to pick on people. They're typically pretty vindictive guys. And all of them are really buying into Skarda's goals. According to Skarda, Skarda plans to take over the world.
With a mirror?
Yeah.
Man.
Well, let's
how were
dig
the
into that notion.
previous uprisings squashed? Like, was anyone around? Remember it?
It's because there's nowhere to go. There's so many soldiers. They're so well equipped. They're so well fed. They have a cavalry. Like, they're just...
Ah,
So the soldiers put it down. Skarda didn't.
Oh, yeah, the soldiers put it down. Skarda doesn't really bother himself. Most of the displays of Skarda were during the Colosseum games. When Skarda's bored or decides the troops need some entertainment, he holds games, which usually involves having whoever the current occupants in the dungeon are fight animals or soldiers or each other for his entertainment. And if a battle's not entertaining enough, he might liven it up with some magic. But he has a solid command of... people have seen, like, the resistance fighters can tell you, they've seen him use fire, lightning, cold.
Do they know what the purpose of this place is? I mean, why are they mining it? Why is it being built?
I mean, it's a base of power that nobody can get to.
How is this going to help Skarda take over the world? It's a pocket universe that...
Well,
sure,
their speculation is Ashgarth... he kind of weighed in on this earlier, but some of the veterans who've been here most of their lives, they think that Skarda did not make this place. They don't know what made this place, but like it's too unreal. Like it's a mirror world. But when some of them first came here, it was literally just a big box with floor, ceiling, walls. There were no structures. The structures were built later. It was just a periodical wells of water. But it's always been lit. It's always had the mirror walls, floors, and ceiling. It wasn't until... Because, like, Ashgarth is one who's lived here most of his... Like, he's been here, like, over 20 years. But when it first started, there were no quarries. There were no houses. Most of the materials they have that, you know, didn't come from here, they were brought through the mirror at some point or another. They brought stone, because the dungeon was made of regular stone, not necessarily all the obsidian glass. But they brought in stone, they brought in wood, they brought livestock, people, and there's only one way in or out, that mirror, which means you can just cover the door up and move it whenever you want. But the way that they raid towns is Skarda brings the mirror into a town, unveils it, and his 100 men step through the mirror, raid and take everything in the village instantly. There's no approach. Like, it's just Skarda walks up and bam, they raid. And this is why Skarda's raiders were so feared. Nothing was ever left. There were no survivors. Everything in the town would just disappear without a trace. This is where it's been going. It's been going to this mirror realm. And with this, Skarda is building quite an army at this point. He has hundreds and hundreds of soldiers now. And with enough soldiers here, he could have an army that could literally walk in anywhere he can put the mirror.
Are any of these buildings, any of these structures, particularly flammable?
The structures in hell are quite flammable because a lot of them are built of wood scraps.
Well,
that
I'd rather not set a
they didn't
firestorm to
want.
consume all the slaves.
Right. The military barracks, they have some wood, but they're mostly constructed with stone from the quarry.
What about the food supplies?
The food supplies are all the glass mirror houses.
Okay.
So the beds inside kind of are. From what he describes, they're doing something you've never heard of. I would tell you they're doing hydroponics, but it's nothing this world has ever seen. But Ashgar says it's remarkable. They get incredible crop yields considering that they don't really have any soil.
What about the Colosseum?
The Colosseum's all blocks.
All right, so we can't really light
It's
on fire
cut
for
out
it.
of the. It's been cut out of the floor just like the quarry, except they did a nice clean job with it instead of just mining deeper and deeper.
Busy isn't here because all we have to do is get everybody underground, have him produce a giant laser, shoot it up at an oblique angle, and it would just ricochet around.
Just ricochet forever.
Are the mirror fiends, like, do they live in this realm, or?
They don't know what a mirror fiend is when you describe it to them. They say it sounds horrific, but they have no idea what that is. Redamaron and Halia are impressed that you killed it.
I can animate dead a couple of times if we want some more bodies, but
Yeesh.
Like your sweater, Steve.
If you die, I'll bring you back.
Yeah,
So-
you're making it through that gate.
And then you can rest.
Yeah, I don't really have much that can be of any particular assistance. The only thing I can do is draw aggro by casting daylight and shining like the suns.
All right. Well, I guess we wait.
Okay, well, I can long rest everybody. That also means that, let's see, rest, long rest. All right, you're all long rested. That also means, Gimlon, you can change your spells out.
I'm going to swap a couple of them.
I don't remember. Can Rangers change their spells out, or they just get a spell list that they select their spells once? Look at your spell
I think I only get to change when I change levels.
Yeah, I think you only change when you level. I think you're right.
I have the
Spellcasting.
scroll of revivify.
I get some crossbows back though.
Yeah, when you level in this class, you can change it. No, they do not have crossbow bolts.
How are you
Okay.
always out of crossbow bolts?
I just
He's
want
not.
more.
He's
I'm
just always
good.
trying to make
I
sure
just
he's
want
full.
more.
He's got
Man,
I want
he's
more.
got like 48 arrows or bolts right now. He's just
You've
staying
got that
on top
quiver of never ending.
just
Yeah,
line up 3
that
in a
helped.
row and shoot through them.
of it. Yeah. I just watched Quigley Down Under.
Nice.
There's a part where the two guys walk past each other and a bullet goes through both of them, and
He's just waiting
guy's
up
like-
there, waiting
he's like,
for him to line
he's just
up.
been waiting for two. He's been waiting all day for two people to walk in front of each other. It's awesome. Such a good movie. I said I didn't have much use for a pistol. Never said I didn't know how to use one.
Let's see, so I'm supposed to have 3. Oh, hold on, I gotta check. How many spells I'm supposed to have here? 6th level, 3 3rd level. One, two. What's a good 3rd spell to take?
A good
It's-
3rd level spell?
Well,
Yeah.
odds are there's going to be a fight. And a 20-foot
Fireball.
big one.
I get it as a dimension spell.
I know. I don't know why you're memorizing it either. Oh, the Guardian Spirit, Divines.
Yeah, I've
whatever
got
it is.
that one.
How many third level
Okay.
spells you got?
So I have Spirit Guardians, Beacon of Hope,
Yeah, but I mean, how many slots?
3.
Well, that sounds like 3.
Don't you
total.
technically have 4?
Yeah, well, I chunked one of the ones I had left over into the gem.
Right.
So I've
what's in
technically
the
got
gem?
4. Fireball right now.
Oh, of course. So yeah, technically he's got a 4th third level spell slot that he can chuck through the gem.
But I was thinking of using Beacon of Hope just because I can keep that running. And that's going to give basically everybody in a 30-foot range of me advantage on Wisdom and Death throws, and you regain maximum hit points whenever a healing spell's cast.
It's pretty nice.
So healing's super effective. It's hard to die. And you all get advantage on Wisdom.
Might
I
be
don't wanna
useful against
die.
a spellcaster.
So I keep that up and running. I've got Silence as a 2nd level spell, so if we run across spellcasters, I can at least pin them for 1 round.
I think there's only one spellcaster.
Well, we don't know that.
You do, actually. Ashgarth did mention that spellcasters don't live long around here because Skarda does not like any other spellcasters to be around because it's the only thing he's really worried about.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's kind of what I'll run. And I guess I do have Animate Dead, but I've never used it.
I don't use it either. If it makes you feel better.
Well, there could be a lot of dead to animate pretty soon.
Just looking for distractions or anything that can possibly be used as a... Like, there's no real 3rd level heals. I mean, I can...
Is there a 3rd level illusion spell you can take?
I don't have any illusion. It's not that kind of cleric.
Okay.
Yeah, not a trickster.
He's of the light.
I'm a cleric of light. I can do protection from energy, protection
He's a cleric of Burnination.
Yes.
Have you ever wanted a wizard, but really wanted some heavy armor too?
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to the Cleric of Light.
Yeah. I could take remove curse.
He's one of the Ori.
Ori, yes, exactly.
I'm on season 10. So.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. Well, I stopped though, so I'm doing the proper viewing. So when you finish season 8, then you watch season 1 of Atlantis. Finish season 9. So now I'm watching season 2 of Atlantis,
Atlantis.
which is when it got good.
What about
Is
the one where
four-
they're on the ship? Where did that one fit in?
That's Universe, which happens
Yes.
after Atlantis.
SGU, yeah, okay.
SGU is when they end up on the Destiny. The Prometheus is in Stargate, and it also is in Atlantis. That's their initial ship they built. And then they have the Daedalus, the Odyssey. That's when they have the Human Guardian hybrid ship,
Right.
which it has all the Guardian defenses, but none of their weaponry because the Guardians refuse to give them weapons. But they're like, we're like, look, we saved your guys twice. And they're like, all right, I guess we'll teach you how to, we'll give you our shields and our hyperdrives. And then they're like, how about some weapons? And they're like, no, we're not doing that. My favorite episode is the first time they engage the Wraith. They're like, all right, they're like, we're going to beam a nuke onto the ship. And the Asgard guys, she's like, no, there's overrides and safeties that keep that from happening. And he goes, well, tell Heimdall to just get rid of the overrides. And he's not going to be happy about it. And like, noted. But he's on the ship too, and he's going to die if it blows up as well. And she goes to him, and he's like, I'm ready to do this. I'm not happy about it. And so he beams it. Boom! It works perfectly. And he's like, all right, load up some more of those nukes. We got 16 ships. We're going to take them all down. And he's like, what? And he's going, look, we got to get out of here. And so he blows up like 6 ships, just beaming one after another before they finally figure out how to stop it. But the whole time he's like cussing in Asgard under his breath while he's beaming them. Just fucking cracked me up.
Not how this is supposed to be done.
I saw
But,
the
yeah, okay.
funniest fucking meme video today. I wasn't expecting it. This guy had this video and it says, if you're going to watch this, make sure you have not eaten or are about to eat. And I was like, okay, I got to see this. And it's got this guy just the most annoying, I'm going to do a sweet vape trick kid you've ever seen. And he's like, then you got to get your sweet ass rig, but of course you know your rig's not as good as mine. He's like, I'm going to show you how to do the jellyfish and blah, blah, blah. And he goes like, he just barfs. Just, and he just throws up for like 10 seconds. And then he goes, okay, so that's about all there is to it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe. So it was just making fun of it, but he legit threw up. And I was so not expecting it. It got me. Because I thought like the vape cartridge was going to, like the battery was going to overheat and blow up in his hand. And I thought it was going to be something
jellyfish.
gory. The last thing I was expecting him is to just fucking puke. He goes, it just throws up. And he goes, all right, that's all there is to it. So, it was good. I laughed. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. I laughed for probably 10 minutes. Like, every time I would get calm, I would think about him going, and that's all there is to it. And start laughing again. Oh, it was so stupid.
All right, I'm good.
All right, everyone's got their spells ready. Okay, so Ashgarth does return to you in the morning. He has a pretty sullen look on his face as he comes down. Well, that went about as well as expected. The guards are currently combing hell looking for you. Scart is furious. He's executed 3 people already, demanding answers. But everyone who knows you are in here is currently in here. So, we're going to... I thought this might happen. We'll just have to lay low. We're not ready yet. I still haven't gotten a hold of Zira.
Who's he executing?
Well, first he executed one of the guards. Actually, the guard that punched Weedle, the first one.
He was mine.
I assure you, he is not yours anymore.
Just put Scarred on the list instead of him.
Okay.
He is in many pieces now. Then he killed the officer who led us into hell for not stopping you. And for not paying attention to where you went. And then it's just a random woman that he grabbed in hell and killed her when she couldn't answer where you were. He's said he's going to kill one person every hour until you're returned. But our resolve is strong. We can weather this.
We should light this candle.
Is he right outside?
Who? Oh, I'm sorry.
Scarda.
You're asking if Scarda's. No, he doesn't come in. He's at the Colosseum, and then the soldiers are grabbing someone each hour and bringing them to the Colosseum. We have probably a half hour before the next one. But no one knows where you're at. No one could say if they wanted to.
We are ready.
But if we went now, we don't have Zira. We won't have the password for the mirror.
Where's Zira?
I don't know. I went to where I would normally meet her, and she didn't come last night. But she may be tied up with what's happening right now.
Surely she would know if all quote unquote hell breaks loose, that we'd be heading to the mirror. She would know to go there, right?
That's a reasonable guess. I would think so, yes.
Whoa. Who else knows the passwords?
Most of the officers who go through the mirror know it, and Skarda, but only his most trusted generals.
So all we
I
need
just
is
want
one.
to kill Skarda.
I mean, all we need is one of them. I can
I
zone of
just want to
truth.
kill Skarda.
I can zone of truth, and we can force him to reveal the password.
Might be a little easier.
Can we kill Skarda first?
There are hundreds of officers. I couldn't tell you which of them know the password.
That's maybe not a good idea then.
But if there was an officer at the platform, they would know the password.
Let's go to the platform.
But then Skarda's alive.
Skarda will find us if we can't find him.
I want to find him.
I wouldn't mind trapping him in this dimension. Of course. Do we know if these mirrors are breakable? They're not breakable, are they?
Redemaron and Halia say that they could not break it.
I just want to trap his corpse on this dimension or another dimension, whatever.
Well, if we make a ruckus, I bet he finds us at the mirror. I bet he finds us at the platform.
I mean, he's at the Coliseum. That's on the way to the mirror. That's all I'm saying.
There are lots and lots and lots of guards around. We need that distraction.
What was the plan for the revolution or rebellion? How are they going to make a distraction? Was it just supposed to be us going full ham or what?
Well, their plan was to, once they get is to get all of the resistance warriors on the garden detail at once. So
Oh, right.
his entire force would be able to get to the gardens to where they only have to overcome one gate to get by.
Right.
They have
And,
they have ropes and not grapples, but they've got metal hooks that their plan was to get onto the walls and get over them, take over the wall so that they can open the gates, and then at that point just beeline for the, because once they're through there, they should be able to outpace any forces that could respond to the pedestal, and then hold the pedestal is their plan. Hold it as long as possible. But their goal is not to get everybody out. Their goal is to get at least one person through the mirror who can then go get help to bring an army. But the more people they get through the gate, the better, because they need to take the gate on the other side. They need to take the mirror on the other side. So if the mirror is defended when they go through, they've got to be able to overcome their attackers on that side and capture the mirror.
and just capture a mirror. And once you have a mirror captured, you can strike.
Right. Then they know once they've got the mirror, their instructions are to wrap it in a blanket, bind it so that it can't come off, and then because everybody here is pretty much from Karamikos, by the way, or near areas, they're supposed to go to the Duke.
Couldn't the mirror on this side just be wrapped in cloth, though?
The mirror, there isn't a mirror on this side.
It's
If
just
you
a
don't
portal
remember,
on this side.
it's a
Yep.
15 foot by, or it's like 10 feet across and like 20 feet to high mirror. It's the same shape as the one in the real world, but it's just literally imposed right into the wall, like it's a part of it. It's not like it's hanging. It seems like it's a permanent fixture on this side. And there are 6 more, 3 on either side, identical looking portals, but they're all black. They actually look just like this one did after it was covered up by Skarda when you guys were on the platform.
Right.
So if there are 6 more entrances, they're not active. That is explained to you by the resistance. Like Ashgarth can tell you that they only guard that center portal. So the 30 are never spread out. They're always guarding that center portal.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm going to wrap us
I
up
guess
10
we
minutes
wait.
early so you guys can spend a week thinking about this. and have your battle plan and decide what you guys want to do.
So I've got Zone of Truth if we need it.
Mhm.
Got Silence if we need it.
Zone of Truth is just an area, correct? So you can keep moving people into it.
15-foot radius,
Do you have to be
How
in
long
it
does it
at the
last?
time it's cast, or can you bring
10
someone
minutes.
in? Okay.
The last 10 minutes. A creature that enters the area for the first time or starts its turn must make a charisma saving
Oh, then
throw.
they get a save. Okay.
On a failed save, the creature can't speak a lie in the radius, and I know whether they succeed or fail on the saving throw.
Nice.
An affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus try to avoid answering questions that would normally respond with a lie. It can be evasive within its answers as long as it remains within the boundaries of the truth. So, like, it knows it's in the zone of truth effectively. But if you ask
Jen
it, like,
said, loud, but it sounds like you're having fun. Can you work a choo-choo in like a code so I know it's your way of saying I love you?
choo-choo!
And then a big train comes through.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, those are the only things I can really think of that I can.
Because I just assume anything we do from here is going to take more than 10 minutes. So.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's all
well,
right. We got a messenger channel for this. We can
Yeah.
discuss theoreticals.
Okay.
Oh, that's a
So-
good point. Actually, yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead.
Well, let's wrap.
No, go ahead.
You said, do you have message or sending?
Me?
Yeah.
I have. You mean as a ritual, right? I have Skywrite.
Yeah, that's not going to do it. I was thinking we could send.
I have Animal Messenger.
Oh, hold on a second. Maybe I have it.
You had sending.
I have sending, so I could use sending to.
Does it work across dimensions?
You have to be on the same plane.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can send a message across
Don't you?
any distance, even to other planes of existence.
Ooh.
Oh.
If the target is on a different plane, there's a 5% chance the message doesn't arrive. So we know how we got in here. We know where we got in here. I guess we don't know if he's moved the mirror. I was gonna say we could send a message to the Duke or somebody and have him march on Redemaron's tower and try to secure the mirror from their end. But if it's not there anymore,
I bet it still is. We've only been in here a day or so. And that's the last known location. And if it's
I don't
not
know about
there,
sending it there to the Duke. Like, is the Duke going to listen to a random voice? Like, maybe Lady Penhaligon or Busy or something.
or what's his name from the tower? Who we don't,
Terranon.
who knows us?
Terranon, his father.
Well, yeah, maybe Tyrannon. I was thinking the guy whose tower we helped initially. I don't have my notebook, so I can't look him up. But
So Penhaligon. Oh, what was his name?
I don't know what guy you're talking about. The cleric?
The
Oh,
you guys kept calling him Kevorkian,
yeah.
the
the
wizard.
guy who's
It was Kevorkian. Kavorquian. Oh, he
Okay.
died. Karen.
Karen,
Yeah,
yeah, Lord
resides
Karen.
there.
Karen was his
Adopted son.
adopted son. Yeah.
Who knows us? Who also knows
The
Lady
highest-
Penhaligon.
The highest ranking person you know in the court is the Lord of Penhaligon, Lady. What's her name?
Lady doesn't want to buy our throne.
Yeah, but she's the highest noble that you know, who would have the
Lady Arteris Penhaligon.
yeah, Lady Artaris. She has the biggest voice with the Duke.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like just somebody who has troops who could try to secure it on that side. I mean, that's an option too, I guess, if we want to think about that. Obviously, it would take them several days to get there, though. And if we're going to pop this thing off tomorrow, that's not going to be much help, is it?
Probably not. But
They could
Darn it.
raise an army faster.
it's a darn good idea. Yep. Once we blow this joint, we could have a ready-made army to come back in.
And she
take
might have a
over.
wizard or something that could do sending to the Duke for more assistance.
Who was his dad? Well, his dad hired us. He doesn't have really access to any troops either, does he?
Right. Most of the
Yeah.
troops were killed or captured in the tower.
Yeah. You brought several of them with you. Several of them are in the room with you right now, the remaining.
Well,
Yeah.
all right, scratch that as an idea then, I guess.
If we were to conjure up a gigantic train, what would it sound like?
She's all the way on the 3rd floor now. She won't hear it.
It's a really big train.
All right. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This will be up on YouTube tomorrow. We'll be back next Monday, unless something happens, because, that happens with us, because we're adults. We'll be back at 8 o'clock p.m. Mountain. Hope to see you guys there. We'll figure out what they're going to do to escape Skarda's mirror. Bye-bye.